and thank you for joining us for Powering Virginia. I'm your host, Jessica Nall. In this episode, you're familiar with agriculture, but how about aquaculture? We're traveling to Virginia's Tidewater area for a look at growing oysters and how Virginia's watermen are returning right along with encouraging news for the Chesapeake Bay, thanks to aquaculture. Then step inside the green kitchen to make the most of garden fresh goodies. We're putting together lemon basil pesto shrimp with sun gold tomatoes. The Chesapeake Bay was once a worldwide exporter of the Crassistrea virginica, best known as the eastern oyster. Overharvesting and eventually significant pollution knocked the oyster population a significant blow, a problem continuing today. Dr. Russell Burke of the Virginia Institute of Marine Science believes this could change.
You have to restore the oyster if you're going to have any chance of restoring Chesapeake Bay.
Dr. Burke, a lifelong scientist, has dedicated himself to revealing how profound an impact restoration of the native Virginia oyster could make on the health of the bay.
I think it's going to turn around the entire ecosystem.
Before the health of the bay returns, Dr. Burke's working collaboratively to support ways to return the oyster to the bay.
What we're trying to do is to restore the foundation, and then Mother Nature can hopefully build upon that the way she did all the years before.
Laying the foundation requires hard work, and hard workers like the oyster.
So the value of this little guy or gal is so important that when we tell people one oyster will filter up to 50 gallons of water a day, they go, "You're kidding." I say, no.
You see, the oyster is actually a simple filter feeder working on overdrive.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about the oyster. It's very primitive in its design, but it's elegant in its design.
It's been estimated that in pre-colonial time, native oysters could filter the entirety of the bay in about 3.3 days.
And the oyster got it right a long time ago, and it hasn't changed ever since. And I think that's one of the amazing things about it as far as an environmental tool to, clean water, and also as an economic tool to make money.
With the public now demanding that there be something done, and with the politicians that know that we have to do something to get the Chesapeake Bay moving forward in the right direction.
Toller believes Oyster Company of Virginia puts power in the hands of the public, positioning everyone to be a part of the solution, repopulating the native eastern oyster, which kicks into gear filtering the waters of the bay.
Because if everyone buys a cage for $175, then for every 10,800 cages, that's $1.89 million. And that $1.89 million provides for 24 million oysters to go to seed. And you do that over and over again, the numbers of oysters that we can put into the rivers and into the bays and in these various watersheds will make a significant difference in bringing back this eutrophic Chesapeake Bay.
In a half shell, Oyster Company of Virginia sells sponsorship of cages which become the basic building block for a new wave of aquaculture, a model that in Tidewater, Virginia, rings near and dear to a history and culture surrounding the watermen.
I think most people walk away either scratching their head or their jaw is open because they maybe think that the only way to proceed in a modern society is through technology. And sometimes the most amazing technology is natural, and because it's been tested by time over millions of years.
People are really resonating with this concept and this idea. And it's actually gone from a concept to now where we've actually sold over 1,000 cages just since November, going through Christmas, and with the investors that are now coming forward going, hey, wait a minute, we like what you're doing. You're not only providing eco-food and you're providing the revival of the native Virginia oyster, you're creating jobs, and you can give us a return on our investment.
Investors not only have the chance to make an ecological impact, change the landscape, reviving the waterman culture, but in turn, they're reaping the benefits of oysters for life. Each cage supporter receives 24 freshly packed oysters shipped anywhere in the continental United States once a year, every year, for the rest of their life. Learn more about the Oyster Company of Virginia. Call 804-405-8460 or head online to oysterva.com to sponsor your very own cage, and you'll enjoy 2 dozen fresh oysters delivered to your door once a year. Up next, we'll talk with a Virginia waterman whose business is bustling, and he'll show me the ropes to cracking into a delicious oyster.